It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Meloni.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Again, you can catch this show on weekdays at 8 a.m. and also learn more about the show over at TampaBayRadio.com. Got a great show planned for you today. The studio is under invasion by pirates from the crew of Rogues today. So you can actually catch the show live in studio as well. You can see these guys. They're all dressed up in their pirate garb in celebration of the Gasparilla season. Just head over to TampaBayRadio.com and click on live stream. And also you can catch the streamcast also over at WeBeamTV as well, .com. And let's go ahead and bring in the Pirates and see what they've got to say. We got Captain Dave Verrier with us today. Dave, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jamie. Glad to be here.
And also the Bling Bling Pirate, Jean-Marc Wallace. How are you doing today?
Doing wonderful. How are you doing today?
Hey, doing great. So, first of all, how long does it take to get into these outfits, man? It's a lot of work putting on this stuff. So
I was done in about 45 minutes. Of course, I had my wife there to help me, so it was not bad.
45 minutes, wow,
yeah.
Man. So shoot, man.
And that goes on in a certain way,
right?
You know, you just don't start putting this on and that on because the way it comes together.
Yeah, that's a lot of bling you got there too, man. How much is that stuff worth?
Look
man?
at that right there,
man. You might get jacked
Those
here.
boots are $500.
Yeah, man. You might get jacked after this show, man.
No,
for
I've
all
got
that
a knife
bling,
on
man.
me. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna mess with you. You might get some looks being like, "Is it Gasparilla today?"
Yeah, exactly. Every day's Gasparilla in Tampa.
So, Dave, tell me about the history of the crew of Rogues.
Well, Rogues goes back a long way. When I moved down to Bayshore around 1987, I didn't really know much about Gasparilla because I'm not from Tampa. And my wife is. She's a Tampanian. And when I call her a tampon, she says that's year-round pride, not monthly, honey.
Right.
But we had a little group, my wife and my friend Richard and I, and we would dress up as pirates, and we would walk through the back alleys behind the mansions on Bayshore Boulevard. And we called ourselves the Back Alley Rogues. And the folks, that was back in the day when you could actually trust people, and they'd yell, "Hey, pirates, come on into the mansion," and we'd come into their house and eat and drink and be merry and then move along to the next one. So we were never in parades back then, just having fun. But that's actually where Rogues came from. It came from my wife, Carrie. And her term for a rogue is a mischievous, fun-loving pirate. So
Well, I qualify for that.
Yes, you do, sir. So we moved along throughout the years, and we were involved in a crew called the Mosquito Coast Pewter Pirates. And then I got involved with a local Chamber of Commerce, and we founded the Crew of Seville. And that was based on the fictitious pirate Jose Gaspar, or not fictitious, based on
who knows,
or who you talked to that day. And that went along for about 5 years. We did a lot of money raising, a lot of fundraising for the chamber. It was a great time. And we decided to go ahead and part ways with the chamber. We had started a company, my partner and I, Tim Glisson, started a company called Fantastic Floats. And we built a float for that chamber, and we also built a float for the Crew of Alegria, and we built our float, the Crew of Rogue Float. So we sold the float to the chamber, we moved along and decided, let's start the Crew of Rogues. Jean-Marc is a founding member of the Crew of Rogues. And,
matter of fact, I'm the one that really stole the bling.
And actually, on parade day, Mark swiped some bling from the Crew of Seville.
That's right.
So,
come on.
That's the basis behind Rogues.
Now, there's a story behind this too. I mean, something that's tied to the France as well. Tell me about the tale of the Crew of Rogues.
Well, the Crew of Rogues got tired. They were businessmen and women, and in France they got tired of paying the taxes to the king. Mm-hmm. And so they decided to behead the king.
Oh, that's good.
Which they did. I think it was like 1430 or
1786.
1786. And so shortly thereafter, they also beheaded the queen. And because of the tax situation, which I hope we don't have to do with our administration, but we will if we have to. Go ahead, Dave. What else you want to say about it?
And then once we basically took over Paris, we set it on fire, and everyone started yelling "rogues, rogues, rogues" because they were all happy that we had killed the royalty. We stole their finest sailing vessel and sailed off to the French Riviera to make that our wonderful home.
Now, tell me about the makeup of your crew today. You mentioned that businessmen, entrepreneurs make up a lot of the crew, but tell me about the structure and who you cater to within the crew.
The crew of Rogues are entrepreneurs and business owners and leaders in the community and civic organizations. We are a networking group. We like to pass business back and forth to each other. It's so difficult to have the right contacts and trusted contacts in business. So we make sure that our network is available to the other members. Mark, for example, is a roofer by trade. I'm a real estate appraiser by profession. So those are things that the group knows about.
Now, Dave, a roofer gets his hands dirty. I don't get my hands dirty.
Sorry, Mark.
There you go.
But yeah, we're a network of professionals and entrepreneurs, and we're just fun-loving. We believe life should be simple and spiritful and fun.
Now, how many people are in the crew right now as members? But you also are telling me that you offer an a la carte, option to your crew. Explain this to the listeners.
Well, we have about 40 full-time members right now, and full membership is $425. And
that's for 4 parades.
Yeah, and that's for 4 parades.
And we include beads. We're the only crew that includes beads.
That's a deal right there.
That's a steal.
I mean, that's a hassle going down to the bead barn and then having to stand in line, and then that's just then
you got to transport your beads either to the parade route or to the parade float where the float's being preserved for the next day, right?
Yeah.
So it totally eliminates all that hassle. So from the beginning of the season, you're in a party mode. And that's what it's about.
And you offer this for all the parades, including the main one on Gasparilla, correct?
All parades.
Very nice. And nobody else does that?
No.
Not that we know of. We don't know of any other crew that offers free beads. And we did it because
not only free beads, but you allow people to come to whatever parade they want without any obligation to be, members for the year.
They can select a parade that, as an example, younger couples or even grandparents who have grandchildren or children, we have a great time at the kids parade, which is our first parade of the year, and it's a shorter parade than the Gasparilla parade, so it's kind of our warm-up trial parade and see that we have everything clicking the way we want to. As an example, this year we added a DJ, and he had an opportunity to make sure everything was working properly for the Gasparilla parade and my wedding.
Yeah, and tell us more. I wanted to hit on that. You got married at Gasparilla.
That I did.
Tell me a little about that. That was a first, right?
That was the first marriage that was approved by the Omistic crew, the planning committee for the Gasparilla function. Had to have 10 police departments involved to get the limousine in, and as well as the blessing of the Academy of Holy Names for us to get married on their blessed ground, since my wife is Catholic. And I actually met Jamie 2 years ago at the St. Patty's Day parade, and I was a little intoxicated, I would say. And she was sitting with a friend who was not feeling well on a park bench, which we think we found. And I looked at her and I told her she was the most beautiful woman I've ever put my eyes upon. Got her number, gave her a kiss, and at that time we started developing a friendship, and from there we moved to love and now marriage. And I'm a wild dog, and she can't train me, but she's got me on a short leash now.
And so this occurred on Gasparilla Day of this year?
The 31st day of this year. We started the wedding at the invasion time, which was appropriate at 11:30. And one of the reasons for this, besides us meeting there, is that the Gasparilla is my heritage. When I was a kid, they didn't have barriers, all right, and the pirates didn't throw beads. They had guns, and they threw the blanks from the caps from the blanks, and they threw coins to you, and you'd sit on the corner. There used to be a place called Bay Cadillac, and next to Bay Cadillac, which is just across the Platte Street Bridge, where the convention center is at now, was where Bay Cadillac was a place called the Old Fort, and the Old Fort served Cuban sandwiches. And I remember my mother going to get Cuban sandwiches and a devil crab and a drink me sitting on the curb, just eating and waiting for the pirates to begin. And the thing was, when you went out you ran out into the street to get these shells. And if you got them when they were hot, you got them when they were right.
Now, are you a Tampa native?
I'm a Tampa native. Yes, I am.
There's not too many of you guys and everything. I was asking you prior to the show there where that accent is from, and you're like, that's a Tampa accent.
Exactly.
I've never gotten that answer from anybody before. So
now you know what they sound like.
Tampa. Dave,
and it was awesome to be part of history, and many thanks go out to ye Mystic Crew of Gasparilla and Event Fest for allowing us to be part of history with Mark's wedding.
Yes, it was.
Very nice. And tell me a little more about your float. It's called the Pirates Pub, correct?
It is called the Pirates Pub, and a lot of people don't know what it's like to be on a float, but our float has a bathroom, and it has a full DJ booth, and it has a kegerator with 2 kegs and taps. And we have a place for our Jell-O shots, and we have a full bar.
You got to watch those Jell-O shots, man. Those things sneak up on you, man. Those things, you wouldn't even know there's alcohol in some of those things sometimes. I've been at some events in years past, and you do those because they taste good. Next thing you know, you don't even know where you're at. So, yeah, you got to watch those Jell-O shots.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, we do about 400 a parade. Yeah. That's how many we make.
400 a parade. Right. Wow. And how many do you do personally?
Oh, probably 15, 20.
15 or 20. Wow, man. That's incredible. So, I was in with the crew of Fort Brooke several years ago. They have a couple of floats. They were a spinoff from the Rough Riders, and it's fun to be on the float and throw the beads and everything. So, I mean, I had a lot of fun with it and everything. And I like how your crew allows people to just come to the whatever parade it is that they want to come to and not have any obligation to be a member, because some of these crews are pretty expensive, correct?
A la carte, yeah. The reason we did a la carte is because, again, we're entrepreneurs. We're older. We're not millennials. Most of us are in between 40 and 52, 55, somewhere in that range. Other than Mark, he's the old man of the crew.
Oh, you're old man of the crew, right? I'm the wild man of the crew. Somebody's got to be older than I am.
I don't know, Mark.
You don't know? Okay.
But, for that reason, people are taking the kids to Little League. They've got spring break that they're going to miss a parade. So we just thought, it's not fair to charge everyone for all 4 parades that we attend. So why don't we make it more friendly to our members? So for like $100, you can be in the Children's Parade. $175, you can be in the Gasparilla Day Parade. We've got the St. Patrick's Parade coming up on the 15th of March. $100. You dress up, you show up, you have fun, you leave. That's it.
And where's the St. Patrick's Day Parade? What's the route?
City.
7th Avenue.
That goes down 7th Avenue like the night parade?
That follows the night parade. Okay. Now, additionally, one of the things that's really wonderful about our crew is that we serve food. If you're going to drink, it's important to eat.
Got to eat too, yeah, absolutely.
And we have one of our crew members that is a superb chef,
Bill and Kitty.
And they cook for hours and hours and hours and get everything transported there. And I know that Bobby and Billy, which are over our security for our crew, make sure everything's set up with them. And you eat and you feel good, and at the same time you party.
Yeah. And it's safe. I mean, we offer a really safe environment, again, just because of our demographic.
Yeah. Well, hold that point. Got to take a quick break. If you're just tuning in, you've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours, cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage. Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Meloni of the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING.
In the market for a reverse mortgage? Contact Access Reverse, a local company with personalized service in the Bay Area. Call them at 727-347-0305 or visit accessreverse.com for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation. They'll come to your home and speak with you about the best options for your reverse mortgage. Plus, they offer the lowest closing costs. Don't just get a reverse mortgage. Get the right reverse mortgage with Access Reverse. Visit accessreverse.com. NMLS number 4566.
This report is brought to you by iHeartMedia.
Looking for a way to increase your business? Ever thought about advertising on radio? iHeartMedia can customize a campaign to meet your specific needs. Call 844-BUY-RADIO. That's 844-BUY-RADIO. Or go to iHeartMedia.com.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
We are still seeing a stop-and-go ride on the I-4 westbound from Branch Forbes Road all the way to just before 50th Street because of construction that still has the right lane blocked. This is causing a big backup on I-75 northbound from 301 all the way to I-4. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Uterwick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
We'll see a mix of sun and clouds today with a 20% chance of rain and a high near 70 tonight. Patchy fog with a low of 58. Then tomorrow the rain chances increase to 30% with a high of 71.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
Welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. And again, you'll find this show on weekdays here on 1250 WHNZ at 8 a.m. And also you can learn more about the show over at my website, tampabayradio.com. Also, be sure to tune in tomorrow at 8 a.m. as we'll be launching the inaugural Working Women Wednesdays. Every Wednesday from here on out, we'll feature two women from the Working Women of Tampa Bay networking group, founded by Jessica Ravelli, who will be joining me in studio tomorrow. And so very excited to have that partnership with the Working Women of Tampa Bay. So be sure to tune in tomorrow to catch that inaugural segment. Currently talking with the crew of rogues in studio today under invasion by the pirates. And again,
I want to interrupt you. Can I interrupt you
yeah,
just
go
for
right
a
ahead.
second?
Yeah.
I need to talk to my captain, Captain Dave. You said that I was the old man of the crew.
Jean-Marc, I believe you are.
Jean-Marc, the bling bling pirate, the best looking pirate on the whole field, by the way.
Except me.
Well, I don't know about that. It's only a matter of opinion. But I do think I have another one of our crew members who may be my senior, and it's Patrick, who is also the owner of Landmark Pools. I think he has me beat by a few years.
All right, we'll give you that then, Mark.
All right, thank you so much, sir.
well, I mean, even if you're the oldest, you definitely got to be the coolest here. I mean, you got more bling here than the average.
You are exactly right.
I mean, so don't let them, talk down to you, just because
that's why we clarified this. I'm a pirate.
Now, let's go back to, your stories and everything. You got some great stories here. I mean, you guys party everywhere. You're just telling me off the air about this, birthday party. What was it? Tell me a little bit about this with a funeral home and stuff. Tell me about this.
Yeah, again, in the spirit of us being entrepreneurs and supporting each other's business, we have a long time pirate friend, Barry Brewer, and he owns Brewer and Son Funeral Homes. There's a chapel on Dale Mabry here by the station. There's one up in Pasco County. I believe he's got another one. And he typically does an annual Halloween party, which obviously everyone dresses up. And to have a party at a funeral home is pretty unique. He's been doing it a long time, and when we started partying there, and he throws a hell of a party. I mean, he goes all out type of party. And so my wife and my business partner, Tim Glisson, were turning 50, and their birthdays are very close together in March. And so Carrie approached Barry and said, "Hey, what do you think about us having our 50th birthday party at your funeral home? And we'll call it our halfway to heaven party because we're going to both live until we're over 100. And Barry said, "Absolutely, let's do it." So we poured about 250 people in the funeral home and had a blast.
Oh, wow, man. Never heard a story like that before. Your business partner there, Tim Glisson, he was supposed to join us today. What happened to him today?
He was, yeah. Unfortunately, he had shoulder surgery. He was throwing too many beads, I guess, and tilting too many beers. So he has a shoulder issue and had to have surgery. And unfortunately, I just got a text from him before the show saying, hey, man, I was up all night. My shoulder is killing me. I'm sorry, I'm not going to make it.
Well, glad you two gentlemen joined us in studio today. And if you're catching us on the airwaves, you can also catch us live in studio. Got two pirates here from the crew of Rogues. Head over to TampaBayRadio.com and click on live stream. You can watch us in studio. Now, tell me, you also are sponsor a charity act. Tell me about your charity.
Yeah, this is a great story. A lot of people are very familiar with the Humane Society of Tampa Bay. Wonderful organization, and they were one of our charities for many years. ACT is the Animal Coalition of Tampa. Very similar to the Humane Society. They offer low-cost spade and neuter programs. They recently they did a story about a cat that got a crossbow arrow in its head. I don't know if
I think I saw that now.
Yeah. That cat was brought to ACT actually, and ACT is a growing business, locally owned, and they had just built a new facility down in the North Hyde Park area, right off of kind of the Willow area, and a homeless person brought a animal in that they just couldn't save. They did everything they could, then couldn't save it, and the homeless person got so angry that he set fire to their new facility, causing $200,000 in damage.
Oh, wow.
So we jumped on board of that and said, listen, man, we need to get some money in your pocket. So that's our cause, is to help them get back near the new facility.
Very nice, very nice. Speaking of cats, I mean, I do remember seeing the crossbow cat, and then recently in the news we saw that zombie cat, that cat that got buried and came back to
crazy.
Came back, like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they thought he was dead and he was not.
Yeah, interesting follow up to that. The Humane Society or whatever organization that got the cat, they're being sued now by the owner who wants their cat back, and I don't know what's become of this. Has been in the news for the last couple of weeks, and talk about cats having 9 lives, but you know, that zombie cat, man, that cat, I mean, it literally got buried, I believe.
It's freaky.
And
dug his way out. I read that in the paper.
That is crazy, but now
that's what we do, Mark.
Dig ourselves out. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, now the Humane Society or whatever won't give the cat back because they said the owners weren't caring for it properly, and they shouldn't have buried the cat. I guess they didn't, obviously know the cat was still alive, which I can understand. I mean, you shouldn't bury somebody without checking to make sure that they're actually dead,
right?
But interesting story, and it's a follow up to what you were saying. You have another event coming up here pretty soon, the Renaissance Festival, correct too?
Renaissance Festival. We our crew of Rogues, we try to involve our members in all kinds of activities that involves the themes of pirates, and isn't that the 21st? Yeah. And so there's, probably at least half of us, 20 to 30 of us, will dress up in our pirate garb and take our winches with us, and we'll go to the Renaissance Fest and just have a great time. And a wonderful thing about the Renaissance Fest is that we're able to find things to add to our collection of pirate gear. I think I'm going to have to build my wife another home because of the pirate gear now.
Oh, wow. So when is the Renaissance Fest? Now, that's not a parade, right? That's just a...
that is a festivity here in Tampa that's at Mosey. They started about 2-3 weeks ago, and it goes for another...
till April, I believe.
Yeah, April. So it's a wonderful time. It's a great family atmosphere as well. It's not like the night parade at Gasparilla, where it's primarily adult-driven. Mm-hmm. It's very family-driven as well. I've taken my grandkids there, and my son-in-law, and my daughter, and so on and so forth. So it's nice.
And bring your kids out, eat a turkey leg.
Exactly.
And the next parade you all have come up is the St. Patrick's Day parade.
That's correct. We go green.
Go green. What comes up after St. Patrick's Day? Do you have a 4th of July, or is there other parades?
Not a parade, not a function. That is actually the end of the Gasparilla season.
Okay, so Gasparilla season starts, there's 4 parades, right? There's
correct.
The main parade down Bayshore, then we have the night parade.
Well, you start off with the children's parade.
Children's parade's first, okay.
And the children's parade is a non-alcoholic parade. Mm-hmm. There's no drinking there. The kids have a good time. I think it's required that the child be 7 years old. I've taken my 2 grandsons. Thus far, I have a 5-year-old granddaughter who's waiting to go to the parade and be part of the crew. And the kids are secured on the float. Mm-hmm. The parent or guardian has to remain with that child, and so everyone's taking care of them for safety.
Then you have the Gasparilla and night parade, and then the St. Patrick's.
Yeah, the full-blown Gasparilla, exactly.
Very nice. I've got to take a quick break, but if you're just tuning in, you've been listening to the crew of Rogues here on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Back in a moment.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Call 1-800-OFFICES now.
What do real customers say about Dr. Tabor's Trelon Anti-Aging Serum? Marta called it the best product she had ever tried and said her family and friends noticed how her skin glowed after just one night. Vicky said her sun-damaged skin drank it in, and her wrinkles and lines around her eyes began to fade away after just 2 weeks. And Sandra from California said Trelon gave her the confidence to go makeup-free at age 56. We've heard from thousands of women like Vicky and Sandra, and now we want to hear from you, which is why you are invited to join our free 30-day trial. That's right, ladies. You can try Trelon Anti-Aging Serum for 30 days free. Trelon is not available in stores, so you can only enjoy its smoothing, firming, nourishing anti-aging power by calling us today. Call now to get your free 30-day supply. Just pay shipping and handling. Call 1-800-932-6890. That's 1-800-932-6890. 1-800-932-6890.
This report is brought to you by the National Highway Safety Traffic Administration and the Ad Council. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
We are still seeing heavy delays on I-4 westbound from Plant City all the way in towards 50th Street because of that construction that still has a right lane blocked. This is causing a big backup on I-75 northbound approaching I-4. Now we have a disabled vehicle on 275 southbound near Fowler has the center lane blocked. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Uterwick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
Winds Weather Center forecast. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds today. Rain chance at 20% for some isolated showers. Today's high in the low 70s. Tonight's low, mid-upper 50s. Impact Radio, 1250 winds.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
Welcome back, everybody, to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Again, you'll catch the show here weekdays at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ. And also, you can learn more about the show over at TampaBayRadio.com. Got the crew of rogues in studio today, Captain Dave Verrier, and also the Bling Bling pirate Jean-Marc Wallace in studio today. And they're in their pirate garb, and you can catch us live in studio here. Again, just head over to TampaBayRadio.com and click on the live stream, and you can catch all the action here going on in the studio today. But I want to come back to the crew of rogues here and talk about the history of Gasparilla. You hear a lot about the pirate Jose Gaspar. I mean, is this you hear that's true, it's not true? Tell me a little bit about the history behind Gasparilla.
Well, as far as is Jose Gaspar...
Is he true? Yeah, is it a true story?
Well,
or is there some... You said there's some factual information behind it.
There's some factual information behind it, and then there's some myth behind it, according to other people. And as a pirate and as a person born and raised in Tampa, I choose to believe that he was real. And his spirit lives on and has lived on for 100 years there now.
Now, I actually did research when I was the founder of the crew of Seville, and that was based on Jose Gaspar being born and growing up in Seville, Spain. And when I did the research, I went down to the John Germain Library and just dug through book after book after book, and I literally found a book that had a passage, about 2.5 pages, about Jose Gaspar growing up as a kid in Seville, Spain, and his cousin Leon was a shipbuilder. And Gaspar was a little bit of a renegade as a kid. Leon,
kind of like me.
Kind of like you. Leon could not read, and Gaspar wanted a water vessel. So Gaspar said to Leon, listen, I'll teach you to read if you build me a boat. So Leon agreed. Leon built him a boat. Gaspar taught him to read. Gaspar then took the boat with some of his renegade friends and allegedly kidnapped the governor's daughter and took her out into an island in the middle of the river and chained her to a tree as a prank.
Oh, wow.
And got busted by, he wrote a ransom note and got busted by the teacher because the teacher recognized his handwriting. So he had to give the boat away. He had to unchain the daughter, do all kinds of penance for it. Didn't go to jail. But the fact is, that's really where the piracy started, way back in Seville, Spain.
Interesting. And I don't know, I don't know if you know off the top of your head, how far does Gasparilla tradition go back in the Tampa Bay region? How long have we been celebrating Gasparilla?
100 years. This is their 100th year.
It was 100 years this year?
Right. I know that they used to have the invasion is the way it started, so it's a little older than 100 years.
It's actually 104.
104 years.
100 years of parades.
Right. And then the second oldest, the Mystic Crew is the original and oldest crew of the Gasparilla theme, and then you have the crew of Seville. Crew of Venus, which my cousin Clarence and Elaine Pravat belong to, and they're more royalty, and so I wear these rings because I like stealing from family, right?
Right.
So and then it just grew into what it is today.
Yeah.
And the Crew of Venus is the one that actually introduced beads into the parade back in the mid-1970s.
1970s, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You think so much of like New Orleans and Mardi Gras and everything, so that really didn't come into play until the 70s. Then I thought that was that kind of stolen from Mardi Gras or something?
Exactly.
That's and now about almost every crew throws beads.
Yep.
There's tons. Actually, when you walk in the parade route, there's so many beads. You have to watch where you're walking. And one of the things we encourage people not to do is bend over and pick up beads because you become a walking hazard.
Yeah. And part of being on these floats, you got people that walk around, the parade marshals, the float marshals or whatever, that kind of protect people from walking in front of these floats.
Well, each crew is required to have security, and it's we have our security leaders who walk in front. Then we have volunteers come from our act who also wear the protective vest, as far as color.
Right.
And you have TPD there. You have, the sheriff's department's there. So there's a lot of, you're most safest on the parade route, not in the parade
That's
crowd.
actually how I got started with Crew of Fort Brooke. I was one of the float marshals, and it kind of sucks because you don't get to drink. You got to you got to be responsible and everything. I was
You're at the wrong end of the parade, my friend.
I was like, I got there. I was like, I don't get to drink. Like, no. I was like, well, I guess it makes sense. Obviously, if I'm here to, protect the drunks from getting in front of the float and everything.
Exactly.
So next year, I was like, listen, I'm not going to do this. So how much does it cost to get on the float and everything? So I did that the following year. So
and what a lot of people don't understand is the back work. We have meetings with each parade committee. For example, Ye Mystic Crew of Gasparilla, they have a meeting with all of the crew captains at the Hard Rock Cafe every year. The Knights of Santiago have a meeting pre-parade to educate us on this is what's happening this year. This is what's changing in the parade routes. This is what we're doing this year. And it's really important that we all attend these meetings because we are all representing the city of Tampa ultimately. And, safety is the number one issue, period.
Yeah, absolutely. How do how do new crews get into these parades? What's the process? If I wanted to start the crew of whatever, what's the process of getting into these parades?
It's very difficult now. It's a selection process by each parade host. For example,
Can I say one thing here?
Yeah,
I know now, from what I understand, there can be no more pirate crews.
No, they're at least for Ye Mystic Crew. For Gasparilla, they stopped allowing pirate crews because they are the pirate crew.
Right, I understand that.
So themed pirate crews are no longer allowed in Gasparilla. New themed pirate crews. But yeah, there's only so much room in a parade route. For example, the Gasparilla parade is 135 units. That includes the mayor, it includes marching bands, it includes floats, it includes crews, etc. So once you get past that, you run out of daylight. So to get a new crew into a parade, almost a crew has to step aside or be disbanded.
And how is the order of the floats determined each year? Is there kind of like a jockeying for position that goes on?
Draw out of a hat?
No, it's determined by the parade committee.
I know that this year, Jamie and I asked the Mystic Crew to stay just in front of as close as they could, in front of the Academy of Holy Names because of our wedding. And they got us within 25 feet of where I wanted to be, 30 feet, and we were float number 30.
Yep,
and
it was absolutely awesome.
It was. And then there was two other crews, the crew of LaBelle Film and the crew, it's a Spanish crew. What the heck's the name of that crew?
Not sure.
Anyhow, another crew, they had a third generation. We had the king and the queen and so on and so forth. They made a special request, and we were able to accommodate them too.
So getting into these parades as a new crew is obviously typically you see the same people in every year and everything. Then,
yeah.
And also you have to carry insurance and stuff. And tell me a little bit about the insurance requirements.
The crew of Santiago is the cruise.
Well, the Knights of Santiago, they have their own parade. That's the Illuminated.
Right.
Parade.
But that was the two that had to get together.
Right. The insurance is huge. The liability insurance is obviously if anyone gets hurt, then lawsuits start flying.
Mm-hmm.
So each crew has to carry their own liability policy, and they have to name the parade sponsors, the city of Tampa. Every year we are told by the parade sponsors, this is who you have to name as additional insured on your personal liability policies. So the list is long.
Yeah.
And the insurance is very expensive. And we, in turn, as a crew, have our own hold harmless agreement that basically in order to sue us, you'd have to be an idiot because it is such a Loctite agreement. And every crew has a similar type of agreement.
Yeah, and there's just so much back end, imagine, to running these crews and everything. And again, how long has the crew of Rogues been in the Gasparilla parades?
This is our 4th year with the crew of Rogues. And yes, the administrative functions, the back end, it's an incredible amount of work. The newsletters that go out, the billing that has to go out, the information distribution, the insurance, the setting up of the parades, the buying of the stuff, the unloading, loading. I mean, it's a ton of work for about a 3-hour event that most people just pay their money, jump on the float, party, and leave.
Right. Now, tell me about your shield and the meaning of the shield. I'm on your website, crewofrogues.com. So tell me about the shield and what it means.
The shield is a 4-cornered shield, and each corner is a triangle, and that represents the 4 elements of life: water, air, fire, and wind. And it is centered around 3 weapons. One is the fasces, which is it's the symbol of the French Revolution. It is a bamboo rod that is wrapped, and then the other is an axe and an anchor. And between the 3 of those symbols, it represents the fight, the triumph, and the departure of the crew of Rogues, beating the king and then moving to the French Riviera.
Very good, very good. Well, I'm going to take a quick break, but coming back from the break, I'm going to talk a little bit more with Captain Dave Verrier and also Bling Bling Pirate Jean-Marc Wallace, a little bit more about your businesses and everything, because you're also not just pirates, you also are also working men. So take a quick break, but you've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
In the market for a reverse mortgage? Contact Access Reverse, a local company with personalized service in the Bay Area. Call them at 727-347-0305 or visit accessreverse.com for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation. They'll come to your home and speak with you about the best options for your reverse mortgage. Plus, they offer the lowest closing costs. Don't just get a reverse mortgage. Get the right reverse mortgage with Access Reverse. Visit accessreverse.com. NMLS number 4566. Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Meloni of the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING.
Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours, cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage.
This report is brought to you by iHeartMedia.
Looking for a way to increase your business? Ever thought about advertising on radio? iHeartMedia can customize a campaign to meet your specific needs. Call 844-BUY-RADIO. That's 844-BUY-RADIO. Or go to iHeartMedia.com.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
We are still seeing a stop-and-go ride on I-4 westbound from Mango Road all the way into just before 50th Street because of construction that still has the right lane blocked, causing a big backup on I-75 northbound approaching I-4. And we still have a disabled vehicle in the center lane on 275 southbound after Fowler. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Uterwick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
We'll see a mix of sun and clouds today with a 20% chance of rain and a high near 70 tonight. Patchy fog with a low of 58. Then tomorrow the rain chances increase to 30% with a high of 71.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Catch the show on here weekdays at 8 a.m. and also learn more about the show over at TampaBayRadio.com. Also, feel free to connect with me on all the social networking sites, Facebook.com/That Business Show. And also you can find me over on Twitter under the handle Jamie_Meloni. Currently talking with Dave Verrier and the Bling Bling Pirate Jean-Marc Wallace of the Crew of Rogues in studio today. We've been talking about their organization, the Crew of Rogues, as well as the history of Gasparilla. But they're also, businessmen, and I want to talk to them a little bit more about, what it is that they do when they're not, being pirates. So Dave, you're an appraiser by trade. So tell me a little bit about your company and your trade.
I'm a certified real estate appraiser. I've been appraising for 10 years. My primary market is Hillsborough County. I specialize in difficult properties. I took multiple courses in appraising oddball properties. So I appraise everything residential, 4-family or less, nothing commercial. And a lot of waterfront stuff, high-end stuff. I do listing appraisals. If realtors, for example, I have a client that thinks their house is worth, let's say, $1 million, for example, and the realtor looks at them and says it's really only worth about $700.
That's every house, yeah.
Right?
Even my own houses, I always try to justify why my home is worth more than all the others, even though in the back of my head I know what I'm doing. But that's just who we are, because we're adding an emotional value to the property that the market does not add. And that's what you have to explain to home sellers. You're seeing the emotional value that the market does not see. So go ahead
and
continue.
Appraisers do it too. But yeah, so I do a lot of listing appraisals, waterfront, weird ones. Probably a couple of the weirdest ones I have done. I did 4 acres on Ballast Point that had 4 houses on it, sat for sale for about 2.5 years. So appraising that one was a crown jewel for me. I appraised one that I called the Scarface House. That was a waterfront property out in kind of like the town and country area. And I mean, this house had everything except the tiger in the backyard. It was ridiculous. Granite floors, granite walls. I mean, everything was solid surface.
Now, Jean-Marc, you're with Quality Roofing. You're a roofer by trade a little bit. Tell me a little bit about your business and what you do.
The Quality Roofing, we're 3 generations of roofing contractors. We do residential and commercial roofing. Quality Roofing focuses all over the state of Florida. We've been involved in the multifamily housing industry for over 38 years. One of the leaders in multifamily housing work. We hold a contract now. I think we're in our 4th or 5th year with the city of Tampa, where we maintain 417 of their facilities. Then when it comes to the bidding process, we have to go through the normal channels, such as the Downtown Tampa Police Department was one of our jobs. The Main Street Library on Ash Street Drive. The historical courthouse downtown Tampa, and the list goes on and on and on. Mattville Air Force Base is another one of our clients. We're on an 8-story building right now that's humongous. We just finished 5 other buildings out there. So we like I said, we're primarily working all over the state of Florida. However, I focus on Hillsborough, Pinellas, and East Pasco County, and I do commercial as well as residential roof replacement, and/or we have a repair department we can do things like that for. So we're very talented. We're very well organized company. Not only does one of our owners, Rick Jenkins, carry a roofing contractor's license, he also carries a general contractor's license. We don't build buildings or build outs, but as an example, Tampa VA, Bay Pines VA, Orlando VA, Gainesville VAs are one of my clients. In order to bid their work, you've got to have this general contractor's license behind you in case you run into a structural problem. So. And we do pride ourselves on our quality of work. We're not the lowball guy, 2 men in a truck. We employ anywhere from 135 to 150 men at any given time, plus our support staff inside the office.
I tell you what, I don't envy roofers in the state of Florida. Are you still one of the guys getting up on those roofs in the summer and putting on those black shingles?
I don't drive a nail. Don't get my hands dirty. I sell, okay?
You're selling, okay. You're a smart man.
That's
yeah,
right.
I mean,
that's right.
That's hard work getting up there on that roof.
Been selling for 39 years, and I tell my clients it's real simple. I get high every day.
Get high every day. Man, I can imagine getting on those roofs every day. If any roofers are listening out there to me and stuff, and man, it's just so hot out there. I can imagine putting on black roofs in the summer.
One of the problems you run into, you get on these high roofs, and they're steep, and every once in a while you come down that ladder and you feel like you need to go to Walmart and buy another set of manhood. You know what I mean?
Hey, I hear you. Dave, being an appraiser and everything, I also am a real estate agent with Coldwell Banker. What are you seeing? What's your take on what's going on in the real estate market right now?
It's been interesting. There's certain markets that are still functional. Primarily stability is what I'm seeing. A lot of people are hoping that we're going to get appreciation. When I do any appraisal analysis, I always go back a year, chart things out, graph things out. It's basically a stable market in Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Pasco counties. The markets that are still selling, there's still some real estate owned or foreclosure activity. It has slowed significantly from what I'm seeing. Markets in South Tampa, for example, are the $400,000 to $700,000 market is still moving along. 700 and up is almost stagnant. So overall, I'm seeing a stable trend, but I'm seeing sales slowing down. So business is slowing down. How about yourself, Jay?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we saw a strong demand from institutional investors that began back in 2012. That's what I consider kind of to be the overall bottom of the market, and the hedge funds and the big institutional people. They were really after the New Tampa area, southeastern Hillsborough County, Riverview, Gibsonton, Apollo Beach, and they were buying these properties for rental use.
Blackstone, right?
Blackstone was one of them. There was about 5 major funds that were. I mean, every property that was built 1990 and newer had multiple offers, and it was, they were bidding whatever, they wanted, because it wasn't their money. They had investors from, all across the globe that were putting money into this investment fund or funds. And, they were putting obscene bids on these properties. You'd ask them for a highest and best, and then they would overbid, another $20,000. And they really pushed up values between 2012 and 2013. But their buying appetite has definitely waned in the last year. So when you say the market is stable, yeah, it's definitely leveling off. I'm definitely seeing that. And the institutional investors, a lot of them have dried up. There's still a couple that are still out there, but they're much more conservative in their bidding and everything these days. Did you see a lot of that as well? Were you?
I did, but at that point, I was doing mostly appraisal work for financial institutions. So I didn't run across a lot of those properties because they were all cash purchases.
Yeah.
I did run across a lot of, because I associate with realtors all the time. Complaints with realtors that, just like you say, I've got a good bid, I've got a viable client to buy the property. All of a sudden they swoop in and they overbid us $20,000 and pay cash, and it's done.
Yeah.
So I wasn't affected a lot by that in my appraisal practice, but I'm glad to see that it's waned.
Yeah, it's definitely waned. So buyers that are out there in the marketplace, the first-time buyers, the buyers that are financing, have a much better chance of competing. But yeah, in 2012 and 2013, I mean, they were just getting pushed out of the market, and it was just you couldn't compete with these these huge institutional buyers buying with pure cash, and so
and evidently there's still a very strong rental market.
Oh yeah, rent. That's what drove these institutional investors down here. Values were at all-time lows in the area, and the rents were at an all-time high. I mean, it's amazing to me what people pay for rents in some of these communities, because the mortgage for that same property, with 3 to 5% down, is several $100s less in many cases. So
they probably couldn't qualify because
that's part of it. Yeah, that's obviously what people are being pushed out of their homes from foreclosure into the rental markets.
Right.
But yeah, the rents are at record highs still. They're starting to come down some, but that's what got those guys over here, was just these high rents. And when they first came to me, I worked with one of them in 2012, and they were based off some analysis done up in Wall Street, the Moody's curve or something. They said they predicted that in 8 years from 2012 that values were going to peak again. So they gave me this financial model. So for every property that I had to analyze, I had to punch in all these different numbers from rents to peak value, and it gave their offer amount based on the cap rate of the property. But it was all, their theory is in, what would it be, 2020, that we're going to see a peak in real estate values in the Tampa Bay region again. And historically, real estate is about a 17-year cycle, and the peak in the real estate market in Tampa Bay was around 2006. What do you think?
I think that's pretty accurate. 2000, maybe late 2005.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. So that would, if you're saying it's a 14-year cycle, 2020 would be it, and that's going to be real important for good real estate appraisers to make sure that they dot their I's and cross their T's, because it's our responsibility to be the gatekeepers and make sure that what happened that resulted in the Great Recession never happens again.
Well, in the Great Recession, I can tell you on the construction side of the table that in all trades, we lost over 350,000 workers and 125,000 different licensed contractors, from drywall contractors to general contractors. So the construction field from 2007, let's say, until just within the last year to year and a half, felt a big hit when it came to new construction. And we're seeing new construction for higher end homes coming back, along with commercial building, which is important too.
Yeah. Well, great information. Got about a minute left. Gentlemen, before we go off the air, tell us real quick how people can get in touch with you to give you some business in your trades, and a little bit more about your crew.
If you want to get involved in the St. Patrick's Parade, we have one parade left. It's www.crewofrogues.com. $100, dress up as a wench, a pirate, something that's Renaissance-y. Come on down. Quick application, $100, and come on down, have fun. As far as Accurate Appraisal Services is concerned, it's accurateappraisalsflorida.com, and I am happy to take care of any type of appraisal needs that you have.
All right, and Jean-Marc, tell us a little bit more where you can get some information on Quality Roofing.
Quality Roofing, we're located here in the Tampa Bay area off of Palm River Road and 301. We have a complete warehouse facility and an office facility. You can look us up on the internet under Quality Roofing Incorporated, and we can meet all your needs, or you can simply call our office, and our team will take care of you.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming in the studio today. A lot of fun today.
Thank you so much.
All right. If you just tuning in, you've been listening to the Crew of Rogues here on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, and also learn more about the show and catch the show recap over again at TampaBayRadio.com. Be sure to tune in tomorrow at 8 a.m. for our inaugural Working Women of Tampa Bay Wednesdays, and I'll see you again tomorrow at 8 a.m. on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.